All right, so this is going to be the introduction of whatever this is. So we got 5 people here. We got me, I'm John Jayne. Um, then we got Jesse Butler. Do you want to talk about yourself? Say who you are.
I'm Jesse Butler. I do judo.
That's good. Then we have Liam Wright.
I'm Liam. I also do judo.
And then we have Kyle Wright. Kyle, who are you?
I also do judo.
Kyle is my mortal enemy in judo.
And then we have Geronimo.
Wait, what's judo? Just kidding. I also
you're
do judo.
You're a wrestler, right?
Just a little bit of everything, I guess.
That's good.
He's a floater.
So we're all based in the U.S. other than me.
And except I don't fight for the U.S.
Yeah. You know, those are small details. I didn't fight for the U.S. for a little bit also, but and usually and in the last video we had L.A. Smith the third, but seems he won't be joining us today. And that's the crew we got here. So anyway, I was thinking today we can talk a little bit about how the global pandemic has sort of messed with our training a little bit and how we've had to adapt to those situations. Because at least in my country, clubs pretty much had to close down around March. And for a long time, we couldn't even meet up outside of our houses until maybe a couple months ago. And then we could meet up outside, so we could have some sort of like small group park training, but everything has to be non-contact with social distancing. And I know that our national center now in Britain has gone back to some sort of full contact judo, but they're also very limited in what they're allowed to do. But other than the national center here, no other club's allowed to do full contact judo. So I was thinking we can talk about, I know Liam, Kyle, and Geronimo, you guys are in Texas, and Jesse, you're in Colorado, aren't you?
Yep.
So if you guys want to talk about like, how's training been? When did you guys have to switch up your training? And if, just talk about whatever.
I mean, for us, it was pretty much March as well. Our club shut down as well, but they allowed us to go inside still. So it's just me, Kyle, and our sister training basically. Some clubs are opening back up, but they have like requirements that you have to wear a mask to train, or there's a certain like occupancy limit on how many people can come inside and train. But other than that, I mean, some of them are still closed, but they're slowly starting to open again.
Man, for me, honestly, it started right after Paris, because right after Paris, I came home.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to a wedding in Mexico. And as soon as I came back, pretty much things shut down. So right after Paris was pretty much the last time I stepped on the mat until I was able to get some, my club was able to give me like a set of keys so I could go train with my brother. So at least I don't have like the problem of I don't have anybody to train with. I'm kind of like in the same situation that Kyle and Liam were probably in, to where they had like each other to train with, but it's still not the same feeling. So it kind of like lowers, it feels like you're just kind of losing everything little by little.
Yeah, you're not really allowed to, you can't really do much randori in that situation.
Yeah, and I mean, my brother's 73 kilos, so at least, I mean, Liam and Kyle are like a weight class away, but my brother and I are like completely 2 weight classes away, and I usually go up a little more than 90 when I'm not
Just
competing.
a little more? What was that? I didn't hear that. Okay, we can't hear him.
I can't hear you.
But yeah, so, and also didn't gyms close for a while in Texas?
Yeah, everything is closed.
Still?
Well, it was for a while, for a good, I would say, 2 months.
Are they still?
What?
Are they still closed?
Most of them are open, but they have like different times they're open, and obviously an occupancy limit as well. Just general safety measures like masks and think for a long time it was gloves too, until they kind of got away from that.
Yeah, that doesn't really make as much sense because
Yeah, I was just thinking about like trying to do deadlifts, for example, with gloves on. They're looking to tear like the
yeah,
first
that
set.
doesn't really make much sense. And like wearing gloves doesn't really change anything because as long as you're washing your hands,
Yeah, that was like at the beginning when
yeah,
kind of the whole situation was unclear.
yeah,
Um,
that's true.
but yeah, other than that, we were fortunate enough that we had some friends that owned a dojo as well. So when we weren't even allowed in our dojo, like our home dojo, we were allowed to train at a friend's dojo.
That's pretty nice.
But it was literally just Liam, my sister, and I. So
Well, I mean, Jesse, how's it in Colorado?
Glad you asked, Mr. Jayne. So the first thing that happened during the pandemic, first thing in March, where we had our club was it looked like a front, right? So you had to walk through a tool shop and you walked upstairs and then our mats were like in the roof kind of thing. And we got kicked out because I guess the business owner thought it wasn't profitable to stay open because nothing was going on. So I think April we got kicked out. We weren't training at that time, but we had to move all of our mats out and then find a place to put them. So then in May, we got in contact with somebody who does it's like an MMA gym kind of. I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want anybody to get in trouble. But they let us put their mats in there and, get set up and stuff like that. And we were training. I mean, we were being responsible. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but not a lot of people around here are keen to wearing masks or gloves. Um, and I mean, sure, you keep your distance, you don't touch each other, but we don't do that either way. So it's like what we would do is we would just ask if you were sick, ask if you were coughing, sneezing, stuff like that. We make sure you wash your hands before you get on the mat, this, that, and the other. And we'd be training. But I would only be able to go in Tuesdays and Thursdays because I had the issue too of where I didn't have anybody my size or my skill to be able to train with. So I was lifting like 4 or 5 times a week. And I don't know how to control myself with that. So I went up 2 weight classes. I went all the way up to and I think that's what affected me the most throughout this whole thing is trying to find a way to stay active while not doing judo, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I was just trying to have fun, really, and keep my mind off of it because it kind of sucked too. It was depressing, but
I think
Global pandemics tend to be depressing.
I've heard.
sometimes.
can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, what I was gonna say is like I think like for me also like that whole like motivation thing because like for the first few weeks I was like like this is a good opportunity, like nothing's happening in the world of judo, like it's a good opportunity to get in like better shape, get stronger, lift.
Yeah.
And like within like 2 weeks, like my motivation just like shattered. I think it was like the whole social aspect of it too, because like I mean me, I'm a like a few of you guys I guess would be like considered a social person, and that like being in the gym and having that like energy of seeing other people like working towards something else, it's kind of like motivating, but then you're alone. And I mean thankfully I was able to get some weights for my house, but like it wasn't the same, for a while it was just like the mental aspect of training was just like not very good, and it was just so hard to get back on track.
I kind of find it funny how like when your first response is like, oh, this is the time to get in shape and stronger.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I don't know, I find that funny. Like during competitions, we're no longer like we're not trying to get in better shape or trying to get stronger. We're just like
I mean, but at that point you're just like, you're like you just keep working, but like this is like the time where like you can gain a little bit of weight, get a little stronger, and then like later on drop it, and you have that time period when like in competition you don't really have that like chance to gain 5 kilos because then like in 2 weeks you have competition.
Yeah, definitely not. I just find that funny with judo. It's like when we have our competitions and then we have a break, we're like, oh, now is the time. I'm gonna fix all my errors, and like it's like when we're in competition seasons,
Yeah.
we're just like too focused on everything.
Hmm.
And
But
that's where I was coming from too. Like, I saw it as an opportunity to where I can actually eat whatever I wanted without any kind of repercussion. And
That's why you went up 2 weight classes.
yeah, man, and it's great, and I'm happy. And I don't regret it because I know that if I like continue training how I did before, I'm just gonna go back to where I was. You know, all it takes is like a consistent diet, proper running, lifting regimen, and training. I'll be back to where I was. But like as a athlete trying to get on that, you know, high level, I feel like it's like it was important for me to remember what it was like to just eat and go out on the weekends and have fun and like, you know, be a semi normal human again.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
for me, it was like this time period. I saw it as a time where you could like figure out how to fix all your like injuries like that we've accumulated over the last, couple of years, months or whatever. But once that got better, I was just kind of stuck. I was like, what am I doing? What to do now? Like I'm very goal oriented. So when you don't have a goal, because you don't know when stuff's gonna open.
yeah, that's
So
really unclear right now.
so you'll have to really try to stay focused on that bigger goal instead of setting because you can't set like short-term goals,
You guys are making me sound really irresponsible right now.
I know when the pandemic first happened, I guess, and they canceled. What was the first competition they canceled? It was
It
Morocco.
was Russia.
Yeah, we were
Morocco.
actually about to get ready to leave for that.
Didn't some of the players actually like land in Russia and then they
Yeah.
Yep, some of us were already in Morocco, some of us were already in Russia.
they canceled Morocco and then they canceled Russia, and then pretty much after that they just canceled like 2 months of the world tour.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this was back when like the cases were pretty low, and I was like, oh, things might get better at some point soon. And so they still had like Baku on the cards. And so I was just like, to keep myself like motivated, I'm just gonna assume Baku will happen or something. I'm just gonna train for that. So like I was just like, I'm gonna train really hard for that, and that's just gonna at least give me something to train for. And then after that was like canceled, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the problem with the Russian Grand Slam, because at first they were like they changed their minds 3 times.
Yeah, that
So
was
at first they were like, okay, it's canceled. And then they were like, okay, no spectators, and you also need 2 COVID tests before you go.
No, they didn't ask. I don't think they asked for COVID tests for that one.
They wound
Well,
up
not
asking,
tests, but symptom check.
yeah.
They wanted
So they were gonna test you like whenever you got there, like check if you had any symptoms. They would make you isolate in your room basically until weigh-ins, like all that.
I mean, that's basically what we do anyway.
Yeah, but like
Yeah, but still,
knowing you
like,
can't go out and knowing you shouldn't, like it's two different things. You know, like if you have the option to go out of your room, you're probably going to. But if you can't, like you're not allowed to, it's gonna feel like you're trapped in there. So like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I agree. Like with that, I think like Europe did a really good job on like cracking down, especially like countries like Spain and Italy.
Yeah, but they're
Like
Spain is going through a second peak right now. They're having to re-lock down.
right, but I mean like for example, I like here, especially here in Texas,
can't
we've
really
seen
compare
it.
to America.
Huh?
Can't really compare like what sensible nations did.
Right,
yeah,
but I mean like especially here, like even like other states within the U.S. like Texas, I think has seen like a pretty big spike. I mean, at least where I live, like in Dallas, it's been pretty bad. And for me, I mean personally, although it like sounds very like I don't know, maybe like harsh, but I would have much rather have like 4 weeks of like very strict, like no going out, you know, than like these like 5-6 months of like like half and half, you know. Like I would rather just like completely obliterate the situation within 4 weeks and like it be like super strict, you know, and have like really harsh restrictions than like be dealing with what we're dealing with like now.
Yeah, because now it feels like it's extremely extended.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean it just makes you feel even more miserable because yeah, the 4 weeks would have been like really hard for everybody, but it's just 4 weeks. Like it's a month that like everybody can deal with that. But now like there's like so many repercussions to like the 6 months that we've been dealing with it.
I mean, the only positive I've had is that my knee is like back to like 80 to 90%. Because I remember it started hurting in Mittersill in the start of January. And then by the end of Paris and Dusseldorf, I was basically fighting on one leg. So it was nice to like first figure out what was wrong with it. But it took like 2 or 3 months for it to start feeling better. So, you know, the extended lockdown kind of helped. But other than that, now it's like, at least in this country, I can't see training coming back this year. It's just kind of like demoralizing to think about. Because, I mean, I think a lot of other countries in Europe, at least their national centers, and a lot of the people that we're going to have to compete against are back to training to some extent. And so it feels like I'm going to be falling behind a lot of the people because they're, especially in like the Eastern European countries. I mean, Czech Republic's had like 2 or 3 training camps.
I mean, but forget about just Eastern Europeans, man. Like the Asian countries, such as like Japan, Korea, they're back on like full mode, man. And like if we were already like a little behind them, like this is like they're sprinting right now and we're walking.
I mean, I don't think we're even walking.
Crawling.
Yeah, it's kind of demoralizing to think about that. Like a lot of other countries are back to training and they're getting better again. I think didn't Germany and Austria were going to have some sort of team competition.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch, but like it just feels like they're rubbing it in our face, you know, a little bit. Sorry, my cat's scratching at my door. But yeah, with the return of competitions, the IJF released a 20-page document. Sorry.
Liam, are you still in Texas? In
Yeah.
Dallas?
Nah, I came back yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, was it good?
You should have came, man. Should have came. It would have been nice to have like somebody like, not necessarily my weight, but somebody that's like, you know, because I trained with mostly like,
Yamka.
yeah, well, he didn't do that much. I just did randori with him, but like there wasn't like necessarily anybody there that was like working towards the same thing as me, other than like my sister and like whoever she trained with.
Alex
like,
or no?
Yeah, it was Alex. Yeah, but like if you were there, I could have worked with you, like, you know. But obviously, like I understand why you didn't. So
Yeah, like I said, we'll figure more stuff out later.
For sure.
What happened in Dallas?
Well, I went up there to train, and Geronimo didn't come see me, so I'm kind of hurt.
Oh, that's
I haven't
Yeah.
been doing regular class, man. But I mean, for the same reason, like obviously, like the largest reason is like COVID in Texas, but like the other reasons, like the people that are like worth training with mostly are not there. So
Yeah.
like going, it's kind of like the same thing for Jesse, you know, like it's kind of like going to like help in the practice, but you're not like training yourself.
Yeah, like you're not actually working on your own stuff. You're just showing other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's look at what competitions might look like for us. So here we see the IJF released that. What's the date today?
Make the screen bigger.
23rd.
Make it the
Today's the
larger.
23rd.
Huh?
Today's the 23rd.
Yeah. Hold on, I can't make the screen bigger.
There we go.
All right, see that?
Yeah, that's better.
So we got a lot of things.
Preamble.
So I think one thing that was different was just that they're asking for 1.5 meters social distancing, which I feel like it's just going to be really tough. At
What
least
have they been saying in Europe?
2
Like, what's-
meters, and then they recently changed it to 1.5 or 1 meter in certain situations, as long as you have a mask on or something.
Okay.
But I mean,
Three-layered surgical mask.
yeah, and
Layers.
without a valve.
With the social distancing, when you guys go out in public, do you see anybody following that?
Sometimes
Sometimes.
Dude, at Walmart is like, or Walmart or Kroger, it's nearly impossible.
yeah, no, hold on, I can't see Liam. Just a second. That wasn't it. All right, whatever.
I think you see whoever's talking. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So then we have our mask. We need sanitizer. Staff. At least they don't advise to use gloves, which is interesting, I thought, just that they would bring that up.
They kind of diss gloves too. They call it a false sense of security.
Yeah, no, I like how they put like extra information that they didn't need to. Like when they talk about, they explain the reasoning behind things. Like the valves on the masks filter only the inhaled air, so it doesn't protect anyone else. So I don't know. I like that. It adds like a personal feeling that someone wrote this.
Someone had a bias in this article.
Someone was annoyed at people for wearing certain masks and wearing gloves. But Geronimo, how about you read?
Oh man, I'm blind and you're asking me.
I got it. I'm a good reader.
Yes, Jesse.
How about we just like scan it? Because that's a lot of pages.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
No, trust me, it doesn't.
I think we can like talk about the points, like each
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
just kind of like scan over it and then like talk about it. Not really like.
Yeah. So this is just things. So here, here's the specific condition. So here's like one of the main parts of it. So you need to have 2 negative tests before, and they have to come in 5 days before arrival, taken 48 hours apart.
Oh man, that's kind of what the UFC does for when they go to Fight Island.
Yeah, but they also make a lot of money in prize money.
I mean, yeah, obviously. Well, I don't know how it is for you. I mean, obviously it's probably the same, but for us, like I'm pretty sure the COVID tests are free in certain locations, unless you go to ER.
Do you think you can get two tests in 5 days?
I mean, I could.
48 hours apart?
It depends where the competition is. Like, if I had to fly all the way to Europe, there's no way.
Well, the other thing is, yeah,
it's before arrival, so at least it's not before the competition.
Yeah.
Because I think they actually test you once you arrive as well.
so does that count as one?
No, I think that's later on in there where they say that they.
Man, 2 COVID tests might be hard to get.
Yeah, especially, and also 48 hours apart, because I think it takes about 48 hours to get results back.
Dude, I mean, paying, because especially, I don't know for you, but I know for like Kyle, Liam, and I, like, you can get a free one, but then like if you try to get another one within like 2 days, you're gonna have to go to an ER and pay that ER visit, and that's just gonna cost you the same as the flight and the stay.
Yeah, I don't really know how to do that in England, because you can get tests here if you kind of say you have symptoms, but then you're also just sort of lying about having symptoms, I guess. Because you're meant to certify that you don't have symptoms, but to get a test here, you have to say you have symptoms. So
It's the same here. You need to have like symptoms or have contact with someone that has it in order to be able to get tested for free.
And then you have to wear a mask at all times. Because at least when you fight, you don't have to wear a mask, you know.
That would be ridiculous.
It'd be rough.
That cardio will go downhill so fast.
Man, if you really want to be like if someone's dirty, they're just gonna push the mask up to your face or something.
I don't know. I feel like that would add add a whole element to judo.
No, I feel like the mask would fall off like first exchange.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so like whenever I went to train this weekend, like I had my mask on and like legit like one throw or like one attack into the randori, like it came off.
Yeah, I don't know how
Like-
useful it is to wear a mask during training because
Yeah.
you're already like sweating so much that like
Mhm.
I honestly can't think that the mask is going to do anything. Oh, hi, man.
Mm.
Then and another thing was having the social distancing like at all times during the competition, except for competitors during their contests. I like that they had to add that. And during the warm-up, you're only allowed one partner. I don't know, I feel like warm-up mats, like, I don't think they can, especially when competitions like get really big, and the bigger ones, like, I don't think the warm-up mats can be big enough to hold that many people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I mean, if you look back to Paris, like that warm-up mat was packed. There's no way there's gonna be enough distance between everybody.
I think they're also gonna like probably limit the lounging on the mat because that's also like a big part of it.
They're already like trying to like get rid of that as well, but I don't know.
But
I
I thought it was pretty funny how it says one warm-up partner. That's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, I would just wonder how they're gonna enforce this. It's just gonna be like.
Well, I mean, first of all, with all those restrictions, like the 1.5 meter distance at all times, you can't have any spectators. Because if you do have spectators,
they're not going to have spectators.
Yeah, if you have spectators, there won't be enough room for, well, first of all, between them and where are all the athletes going to go.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the other part of it is like the business aspect of it. Because like at the end of the day, like nations that do these tournaments, like they put in a lot of money in order to like get the spectators to pay, and then they to like make that money back and maybe a little more. You know, it's just like an investment for them. So who like what nation's really gonna want to do like an event like this, especially when like already like, you know, the market is low, like everything is just kind of crashing down little by little. And like then and like the added thing of like, oh, you're gonna invest this money plus you're not gonna make any back.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much for sure that you won't.
I'm just gonna stop you down. We have so Geronimo, you were talking about what were you talking about, Geronimo?
The monetization of the tournament. Like what like other than like all these like regulations, like I mean it costs a lot of money to make the tournament, and like a lot of countries take this as an investment, such as like France, you know, or Georgia. Like it's a good investment for the country because they know people are going to come out and watch the tournament. And this time, like they whatever country hosts the next tournament, they know it's not going to be an investment. It's just going to be taken as a loss. So like how many countries are going to want to do that and are going to be willing to do that?
The only way I can see them at least breaking even with the competition cost is increase the participation prices, and I know for a lot of self-funded people it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean it wouldn't be like it's like the price is already fairly high for self-funded people, you know.
Yeah, also I don't think that a lot of the competitions make their money from spectators. I mean, how many times have you fought in an empty arena? I mean, I know that at least this year for Tel Aviv, Paris, and Dusseldorf, those get quite a lot of people, quite a lot of spectators, but a lot of competitions don't, and I think that most of their money just comes from participants.
Right, but again, how many times do you see those tournaments like a repeat, you know?
I mean, it's like once or twice, maybe a year.
Right.
Yeah.
But for example, Montreal, it's not on the next calendar for the same reason. Like there was no spectators, so the country doesn't want to just lose 100, 200 grand in a tournament that they're not getting anything out of.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at Morocco, they didn't have a lot of spectators, but they wanted to do it again this year.
Well,
There it's funded by the king or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but usually competitions get like a 2-year contract, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just think also, especially that during this time, I don't think there's going to be that many competitors at these competitions, because last time I checked a couple days ago, Zagreb Grand Prix hasn't been canceled yet on the calendar. If you
That's in September, right?
Yeah, actually, I can just go to.
I mean, another problem I see with this whole trying to start back up as quickly as possible is that most countries have travel restrictions. Like,
yeah, that's another.
I know for the U.S., we can barely go to Mexico, like, and we have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks if we go to Mexico.
Dude, if we go to New York.
Yeah, I know Canada. I think Canada it does not allow any Americans across their borders right now. So if we can't even go anywhere.
Well, I think they allow business. I mean, we can count this as business technically.
But would it really count as business though?
Well, you need the company within the country to be able to like give you a letter saying that like why you're going into that country.
Yeah, but that could be like feasibly done. Like the company being whatever.
In a way, I guess.
Judo Federation. But here, like on the IJF calendar, Zagreb Grand Prix, that's in 3 to 4
less
weeks.
Than a month.
Yeah, less than a month, not canceled.
Yeah, but look at how many people signed up. That's not going to happen.
I know. Tashkent Grand Prix, no entries. Brasilia, they got 4 athletes. In Tokyo, still going ahead apparently.
I would expect Tokyo to actually happen for one reason. If they're gonna host the Olympics next year, I feel like they're gonna use this as like a trial tournament.
I mean, though, it's kind of tempting to want to go to Zagreb because, I mean, can you see how many competitors are in the weight classes? Here. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so like, if you're
81 going strong.
Yeah, 81's just the biggest weight class. But I mean, if you go there, that's some easy points. Like, do you think that
easy points though? Okay, so look who's on the list though.
Okay, let's look at who's an 81 here.
Yeah, those are not easy points.
Okay, well, past the first 4 seeds, their world rankings aren't that high. And this is a Grand Prix, remember. This is 700 points on the line. Let's see, Liam.
Yeah, that's not easy.
All right, let me look at 90s. Yeah, I can win this. Well, I had a close match with Clamor.
You had a good match with him.
I could beat him if I wasn't an idiot. I think that's a valid statement. Celadus is pretty strong, but like, I'm just saying for like a Grand Prix, you would say this is easy. Like, do you think? I don't think they can really like allow these points. Do you think they can allow these points to like count for the world tour, or count for the world ranking if like so few people are able or willing to go to these competitions?
I'd say it would count. Why not?
Well, it's well, it's not really fair for a lot of countries because of the travel bans, and if there isn't a travel ban, there's like often quarantines on the way back, and there's quarantines going to different countries, because a lot of countries in Europe have some form of quarantine at least. I know that England has quarantine measures for a lot of different countries, even in Europe.
Well, and then there's also the problem of there's the rule, like that rule where you need multiple countries, like I think 3 or 4 different ones in order to get the points.
Yeah.
So
Notice. Oh, I'm sorry.
so like the only divisions that they could realistically do with that number of participants is 81s and what was it, 90?
Yeah, 90 had 6 people.
And just barely too, because there's 2 checks in each, you know?
Yeah, I think they're like to get points, you need to have like at least 3 people from 3 different countries.
Yeah.
Or
That's the problem with the Pan Am competitions often.
yeah, so but with that few people, like that you definitely can't make any money from these competitions. Or,
Did you notice how on the roster there was nobody from Croatia participating?
that's a really good point.
You know, I've been quiet this whole time, but I noticed things here and there.
No,
But I think that's kind of weird that they're having a tournament in their own country and nobody's showing up.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's still a month out if you think about it. So a lot of people probably haven't even signed up yet if they're thinking about going.
yeah,
Problem is most people aren't even training.
yeah, but you'd think the Croatians, if they're actually planning to hold this tournament, would be signed up for their own tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think I heard that Croatia is experiencing a second spike right now too, because all the European tourists go there because it's a nice spot.
Because they can,
So like,
the country was considered safe.
yeah. So like now it's just going downhill. So
Yeah, so that's another mess, and I don't know. I feel like we'll see. We'll see. You know how things go, but I don't know. I like how also other than Zagreb, I mean Zagreb's the biggest one right now, but Tokyo has the one in December has 10 athletes. What
we have no points. That's what we have.
ooh, I can put us up here. But yeah, we have most categories don't have a person in it.
Yeah.
The Japanese haven't entered someone at 60. So yeah, these are the 2 countries right now. So I think, I don't know, I think that's just, it's just interesting that, and especially with the IJF releasing this as, it looks like they're trying to go ahead with tournaments and they're trying to build up confidence for people to go to tournaments.
I got one more thing for that 2.2. It says at the bottom, if a person does not comply with the conditions for participation, they will not be eligible to participate in the event. That worries me as an American and somebody who gets screwed over for stupid stuff all the time, because that stuff is all up to interpretation. Because if I'm warming up with a partner at one point and they wanna just kick me out of the competition, they can make a case that I was training with, or I was trying to warm up with somebody else.
But yeah, does that mean we need to have like a designated warm-up partner for the full competition? Because
Yeah, I mean that's the only way it makes sense if you have a designated.
but I mean if like I warm up with like so like if I'm warming up with like LA during the start of the tournament, but then like later on in the competition, before like a second match or something, LA's in the tunnel where he's already out fighting, I have to warm up with someone else.
And then I get in trouble for it, and now I can't participate because I'm not complying with the conditions.
Because my warm-up
But then again, who's going to be overseeing that all and enforcing that the entire time? I feel
Well,
like
the IJF definitely has enough staff to be able to oversee this stuff. Like, and I think they definitely put a lot of thought into this. They put but I think just some of the things are just feel a little impractical. I'm not sure.
I honestly feel like this whole document is just the purpose of this whole document is hope, you know, because as soon as this document came out, people started posting it like, oh yeah, competitions are starting back up again, but I think it's just not realistic, like as a whole.
So yeah, that's so the venue has to be frequently ventilated.
That's going to be a problem in certain areas.
Yeah, I don't know how expensive these ventilations or how easy it is to fit existing arenas with this stuff, but I'm assuming they probably thought about it. And if the IJF is holding a tournament, I think they have the ability to like bring in these filters for the competition. I don't know how much, but and then an IJF COVID manager will be appointed by the IJF for each event. So I'm assuming this is just for like the World Tour events. I'm not sure if this is for every single competition.
So would it be just for like the seniors?
Yeah, like
what about the juniors, for example?
Yeah, I don't know if the I mean, I would assume the EJU would probably follow this.
But does the EJU have as much money as the IJF?
That's another question. They definitely have their money, but probably not as much. I don't know about the PJC or Oceania, how much they're going to be having and how much control. I don't know what the pandemic situation is in South America, but I know Brazil's having a real tough time.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mexico is too.
Geronimo,
you're mute.
Oh, I said Mexico's doing pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's just hospitals are flooding, and the other thing is like some of the rural areas are just like really really rural, so like sometimes they might think like, oh, this is just a cold, but it like it could be or it could not, and a lot of people might not go to the hospital just to find out.
Well, yeah, now it's way past cold season.
Well, no,
Yeah.
but in the mountains it's different, like in Mexico.
Oh yeah, so that's and then here another thing for testing is the LOC, which I forgot what it means, but they have to finance a COVID control center with at least one PCR test per participant to be performed immediately upon arrival, preferably in a testing station set up at the airport premises. So this is what I meant earlier, where you're going to have 2 tests on arrival with you, and then you're going to need to have, then you're going to get tested again.
You're looking at 3 tests.
Yeah, so you're looking at 3 tests, which, I mean, that's definitely going to confirm whether or not you have something. I don't know how, Todd, you know how accurate the COVID tests are?
Well, it depends on the type. So I don't know about like Europe, but we have rapid tests where I think it's like 70% like accuracy. Yeah. But you get your results within like 20 minutes, but they still recommend you to like self-isolate for 14 days.
Yeah. So.
The problem with it is that when you arrive and let's say you get COVID on a plane,
yeah,
it's not gonna show up right at arrival.
Yeah.
Like the virus has to like progress first, you know?
Mm-hmm. So it incubates over 2 weeks.
And also depends like what kind of test it is, because there's an antibody test And if they do an antibody test and you have the antibodies, they're just going to assume, oh, you have COVID, you know?
Well, I doubt they're doing the antibody test because that's.
Yeah. But then they would have to switch to a rapid test because otherwise they won't get the results within like earliest 48 hours.
Yeah, because they're saying the test results must be ensured no later than 24 hours.
And not just that is the problem, but like you have, let's say a regular tournament, like a normal tournament would be like 400 athletes ish, give or take. You have to do 400 tests within 24 hours.
That's going to be, well,
And
they want the testing station to be set up at the airport.
Right. But it's not just 400 athletes. It's also plus staff. So like
coaching staff.
Coaches, physios, some teams even bring their nutritionists.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough ask.
So like you're really asking. I mean, it's a big responsibility for the country that's going to host this, because
I mean,
they need the staff and the tests to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of countries have increased their testing capabilities, but I mean, this would have been pretty tough to do when there weren't that many tests around, and the tests they had were almost vital for like different lines. So, I mean, it's definitely.
And then the other question is, where are they going to get the test kits from? You know?
And I mean, I feel like this would be this is like necessary to do if you're going to hold a competition during the pandemic. But,
oh, absolutely.
So like, but it just feels like it'd be extremely difficult to pull this off, because for a lot of the other sporting events that are going on right now, like I know isn't the NBA still going or something?
Yeah, it started back up, but they're all isolated. They're all in a bubble.
They have their bubbles, and MMA has a literal fight island. Like judo can't really do that because we just have so many people in the sport.
Yeah, and like Kyle said though, Kyle also talked about like the percentage of like the accuracy on a 24-hour test. You know, like that's for 400 people, like 70% is a lot of people. Like
that's a lot of people.
But we're not just considering like the 70%. We're considering the 30 that might test, like might give a false positive, a false negative.
Yeah, 30% is a lot when you talk about COVID.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how the statistic works exactly, but
no. But it's like, okay, if each one of us has like a 70% of like, or a 30% of a false positive.
Yeah.
For 400 people.
Oh wait,
30% is a big chance.
Do these tests give out false positives?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because that's another big problem is like that would be real annoying if you show up to a tournament and it shows up a false positive and you can't compete.
I mean, realistically, like false negative would be even worse.
Yeah,
let's say you
you're
test false
spreading
negative. You go, you compete, you infect everybody there. There you go.
Because I mean, in a competition, I feel like if you had one person with the virus, at least half of the draw will get it.
Yeah.
Just in the nature of our competition.
I think that's like a real problem. Like more than just like, oh, you have to get through like the 2 tests and then the 1 test. I think it's the magnitude of test and the possibility that there's going to be a false result.
Yeah.
And in the same paragraph, I just saw like where it says, until test results are obtained, all participants must remain in their hotel rooms, where also meals will be ensured until the receipt of test results. That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of logistics as well. That's I mean, these are like necessary things to do, but it's
yeah, it's very necessary. Like it's essential, but realistically speaking, like imagine you have 400 athletes spread out in 4 hotels. You know,
how would you even control that though? Like,
well,
like you can't really, to be honest.
How do you stop 400 athletes plus staff from going outside and going to like a vending machine? Or...
Well, you're risking being taken out of the competition. So,
Right, but I mean, like what I'm saying is like you need also like the staffing in order to like cook those meals for everybody.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then deliver it to every single room, different hotels.
Dude, logistically, it's a nightmare.
It is.
Before the opening of the competition hall, to delegations, organizations, the COVID manager, and the manager of the local organizing committee will have to verify that the implementation of all required health measures is complete.
Okay, see that just raises another question. So let's say there's a whole nation, or like let's say a team of 10 people who don't really follow it or whatever, and they get flagged by the COVID manager. Are they just going to cancel the competition?
They'll probably just kick out the one team.
Yeah, but what if they had contact with other teams?
Oh,
You know, so like you would all have to travel. Let's say for us, we all go to Tokyo with all those regulations.
yeah.
One team doesn't follow it, and the competition gets canceled. You still spend all that money to get there and to stay at the hotel.
And you know, I'm sure like the IJF obviously like they played all these what ifs, but like what I'm saying, like the other thing is like whatever country is willing to run a tournament, it's gonna be like one really really expensive, and two, like most of that money isn't gonna come back because like I said before, like I mean it's meals now, it's meals, more staff, you know, and then you have like all this logistical like problems that you have to deal with.
And so here's compulsory protective actions. So no gloves, again. Wash your hands regularly. So, I mean, I do like that. I feel like our competitions will be a little more hygienic. Competitors should wash, yeah. No handshakes. Use elbows or a bow. I feel like you can't maintain social distancing with the elbow.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, that and if everyone sneezes into their elbow, you know.
But you're using the outside of your elbow.
Right, but still, you know.
Yeah, the elbow thing, I think just doing like the bow is, I feel like we should change our culture so that we bow at everyone.
Right.
The Japanese were way ahead of us, dude.
Oh, that geniuses.
They were planning this out. What's your opinion, Jesse?
Oh, wow. So you have to wear a mask and you have to change it at least twice daily. I've never heard of that one before, actually.
That's a lot of masks.
So let's say you go 5 days, that's 10 masks. Like
you can use probably. It doesn't say. I think you can like wash your masks.
No, because it has to be a 3-layered surgical mask.
Oh,
yeah, I was gonna
surgical
say.
mask. You can't use your own mask.
Nope.
Okay, so that's 10 masks.
So 10 masks for let's say 400 people. That's you know
4,000 masks.
That's just taking away the PPEs from all the people that actually are treating COVID patients too.
Yeah. In the event of intense physical exertion, it is allowed for the mask to be removed.
It's pretty much just like during competition and
during
warm-ups.
warm-up.
And cutting weight.
I don't know. People might keep the mask on to cut weight because it keeps the extra warmth in.
Yeah, so that's just gonna add even more like need for masks.
Disinfect your mobile phone. Use your own pen. Do not lend it.
Great. Now I have to take my own pen.
Wow, Kyle. I was like, I'm not worried about anything. Just why do I have to bring my own pen?
Bringing your own pen.
I like this. I like how specific they were. How specific they are with all these little things like disinfect your mobile phone.
And I know most of these are also like, you know, like also suggestions because like you can't really like.
No, these are compulsory.
Oh, yeah, but I mean like.
It says compulsory right here.
No, but I mean like.
If you don't follow this, you're out of the competition.
But how do you keep track of that?
Geronimo, I swear, if you steal my pen, I'm
Don't
reporting you.
disinfect your phone, Geronimo, I swear.
You know, you could really mess some people up with that. Like, I'm just gonna say, oh, my first round stole my pen.
But he used my pen, guys. Is that not a Cheeto?
If a person has symptoms, notify immediately to the IJF. So that makes sense. Personal hygiene, take a shower with soap.
I would hope so.
How are you gonna check that though?
This
Smell
is
test.
at the beginning of the day, so they're gonna ask you when you show up at the venue if you showered.
Yeah, but like, are they gonna smell you?
Are you gonna check that?
How are they gonna check that?
Yeah, see it.
Liam, you just want someone to check that, don't you?
Bro, no, I'm just saying. Like, let's say you shower, right? But let's say
You sweat on
the guy behind you didn't shower. How are you gonna differentiate? The only way you can tell is
Smell that person.
him. You're wearing a mask. You can't smell shit. Sorry, you can't smell anything. So
You have to do the sniff test.
I like I said, like although it says compulsory, I think like most of these are just like also like just like hey guys, I think we should all do this.
We
they're
should
like
all
basic
shower in
hygiene
the
tips.
morning.
Yeah.
Sanitize the pens.
And with the pens.
What's up with the pens?
The
Not
pens.
just not just do you have to bring your own, Kyle. You have to sanitize it.
Sanitize my own pen too.
This is it. I can't do this, man. Locate the nearest restroom. So that's fair. During the day, change your mask. Sanitize regularly. Sanitize your hand. I like how they added this. Sanitize your hand before putting on a fresh mask. Like, no, that's reasonable. That's correct. But I wouldn't have thought of that. Collect used masks. Put it in the garbage, inlaid with a garbage bag, so no just dustbins.
Okay, let's talk about garbage for a second.
Ooh,
Okay,
people
Geronimo.
spitting in there. Ooh, that's
I
gonna be a
mean,
nightmare.
like okay, not just okay, like first weight cut with like all that spit and all those juices, but like
Juices.
Juices.
all those juices
What kind of-
flowing, man. But like
I understand judo is a very
Not-
intimate sport, but I don't think it's that intimate.
But like no, but like have you like every single time after a tournament, like never is the whole warm up area like spotless. You know, like
Oh yeah, also when you're washing your hands regularly, that means you have to like tape your fingers before every match.
oh, that's a good question.
Jesse, what do you think about this?
I think what we should do is just not do any of this and maybe go back to having trials for each of their countries, so that way we don't have to worry about any of this. Because this is too much, man. Like I get it. Wash your pens, clean your mask, and your face, right? But like at the end of the day, who's all gonna go to these tournaments? Like the point that you said earlier, are the points even gonna matter if there's only 6 people in the division? Like I just think we should just forget about all this. Just have a trials right before the Olympics are gonna happen, and then we can just send one person to each, and then do this just for one giant Olympic, like for the actual one that matters. Because I don't think there's there's a lot of countries that don't want to have to put up with this.
Yeah,
I
just
don't put up with this, and I'm listening to it.
Man,
That's
I
a lot
just don't
of-
want to sanitize my pens. Okay.
Do it.
But
Go ahead.
That's a lot of countries that are gonna be like, because like you have little countries like Curacao,
yeah.
Aruba, like
And
those.
the Olympic, I think the judo contract with the Olympics only allows like 20 people per weight class or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say not every country is gonna be able to send one per category.
And also
Yeah.
another
So
thing
so like how do you minimize that in order to like I think the trials is not a bad idea, but like how do you go back? I mean, like how do we go back to doing trials without excluding those like smaller nations?
Yeah.
Just leave them out. I don't know. I really don't know. Well, because I think there's like a general consensus of like who the top countries are and who the developing countries are. But I don't know. I think that's a great question because you're right. We can't have 60 people in one bracket. It'd be that'd be cool, but
That'd be worlds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a lot. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. And I think when I go to a competition and I have to go through all of this, I'm going to be thinking about nothing but the regulations and nothing about the
Yeah,
tournament. By the
definitely.
time I go out to the mat and fight, I'm going to be so stressed out about changing my mask and sanitizing my pens that I'm not going to be able to think when I get on the mat.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
these
you're going to be busy cutting 30 pounds anyway, so I mean.
Yes, so what?
Let's scroll down to weigh-ins, John. I wanna. So we have time to talk about that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
there's
like,
4 minutes left. We might do just another call just to get the rest in, but
Another one?
another one?
Another one.
Another one. Weigh-in and judo gi pre-control. Also, just one thing is that these guidelines are all for like pre-vaccination situation. So I think that implies that when vaccinations come out, in order to do competitions, you need to have like a recent vaccine, which might help things, but
yeah.
I don't know when vaccines will come in. It looks like it's going to be at least till next year.
I mean, they're on stage 3. I think 3 companies are on stage 3. One of them being Pfizer and Moderna. Like those are 2 that.
I think it's still going to be by the end, like the end of the year, to when they start producing large quantities.
Yeah. I think Moderna had they sent out to be 100 million, which is like compared to the population of the world, like
Nothing.
Nothing,
But
yeah.
they got 100 million made, and I guess if it doesn't pass, I guess they might throw them away or something. But
That's going to really suck if one of these vaccines doesn't like fails phase 3.
yeah, we were all like hoping for something soon.
Yeah, no, I think originally they was like, oh, it's September, October, by the end of the year, and now they're thinking by the like beginning of next year. So I've like lost all hope, and I'm just assuming it's gonna be like just really distant. But anyway, here's weigh-ins.
What a cute kitty.
Weigh-ins. So we got sufficiently large spaces that offer sufficient space for social distancing.
Oh, like the Paris one.
All right, so first concern here. Remember how Paris weigh-ins was?
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that was bad. That was
Pretty
bad.
much every weigh-in's like in a tiny room.
Yeah, Brazil was
Yeah.
too. It was that small tiny room.
It was like the whole hall, like the hallway. It was not good.
Mhm.
Budapest,
Like
Croatia.
not two heavyweights were able to fit next to each other.
Dude, I think there has rarely been a weigh-in that has had sufficient space.
Mm,
They would have to just hold it in the big arena.
yeah, I mean, if you get anywhere near the amount of competitors we usually get, it's gonna be hard to have enough space regardless.
They're gonna have to do it on the competition like mat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like put it in a warm up area and have like different sections for different weight classes or something like that.
Or I mean, do the men's, since it's like usually more people. Do them like on the competition floor and like women on the warm up area.
Yeah.
But it's still gonna be like so many people.
And you have to sanitize the whole competition area too.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Then whether official or unofficial, the scales must be disinfected with a suitable product before weigh-in of each athlete.
It's gonna take forever too.
Definitely not going to take 30 minutes.
Mm-mm.
It never takes 30 minutes anyway.
Yeah, but they try.
Especially for like the heavier weights.
And especially for the Americans at the end.
Yeah,
Well, I don't have that
U.S.
problem,
and
so.
Uzbekistan and
So they do say that we should have sufficient time. But like if you're having a weigh-in at 8 and then you end up weighing in at 9 p.m. and then you have to fight again tomorrow at like, or if you're, because usually you try to weigh in as soon as you can because you want to be able to eat and like hydrate. So this is going to really affect like athletes who are weigh in at 8 p.m. and then like other athletes are going to be weighing in at 9 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. So
And
like
the only thing they
weighing in at the start are going to have a huge advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they might have to start weighing earlier if they do it like that. Because let's say it starts early like Paris.
But they don't say that.
Yeah, but they almost have to.
They should. The alignment of the athletes for the weigh-in must be respected. The judogi control. So they're going to have a running order, but we already know what that would be. That'd be kind of come by countries. The line.
Oh, and speaking of judogi control, like, how are they gonna do the lending of geese?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Because like you can't. I mean, like everybody tries to have their gi like at the best. Because some tournaments are more strict than others. Because we all have gis that like pass, and then the next week at another tournament it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So like how? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you try to do your best in order to not wear the loaner gi.
Yeah.
But it happens, and they can't just like. I mean, they can, but it'd suck to like have that happen, to like get kicked out of the tournament because your gi.
Yeah, they
didn't
control
pass.
judo gi control. So it must be there's social distancing. Okay,
So the
so it looks
coach-
like the athlete and coach have to demonstrate everything. So it's basically the coach's job to to make sure that to make sure their own athlete is passing the judo gi control.
But again, with the same thing, like not everybody has a coach always there,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's gonna be, well, the athlete's just gonna have to do it, which is impossible for sleeves at least.
I mean, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of having one warm-up partner as well. If the same coach checks everybody's gis,
Liam, you stop that right now. That makes
Liam.
The IJF is perfect, didn't you know? Darn it.
Let's see. So when they're like checking before weigh-ins, when they're checking your gi, like you just have to show it to them, I think. Do you know what sokuteki means?
Yeah, it's the things you stick in your sleeve to measure.
That must be
To measure. Yeah.
So at least I'll be using those. The draw is virtual, which makes sense.
Yes.
If held with spectators, but they have only one coach per gender per delegation. They put in brackets maximum one male and one female coach per delegation. So and then no journalists will be invited. I didn't know journalists showed up to IJF draws, but
I mean, they do have those press conferences.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. You know what I was thinking? They should have press conferences before the final block, so that the athletes can like
That is a terrible idea.
talk to each other before the final block.
That is a terrible idea.
I think you're the only person that does that, John.
I don't trash talk anyone.
Oh, really? You have
Yeah,
to take you back to all the training camps where you almost
No.
No, he doesn't trash talk them. He just dabs on them right after he throws them.
It's never like serious though. I think people just don't realize I'm being ironic when I do it. Wait outside.
This one's gonna be a tricky one. The transportation.
Yep.
Oof.
How many buses will they need?
One per country, because you can't regroup. You can't regroup with other delegations.
It sucks. This is impossible. Like come on. It's getting really unrealistic now. Come on. I'm not gonna wait for 500 males to go step on the scale just to get sanitized right after. That's gonna take another 6 hours to go do that, and then you're gonna get 52 buses for each country, like he was saying. Like, I don't know. I'm not for it.
I mean, probably countries that are small are gonna like ride together, but man, like already like it.
Do
I mean, I
not
think
regroup
we've
about
all been in those buses.
Yo, the buses are already late as they are, and
No, but not even about being late. Like, man, when you get on those buses, sometimes you have to ride standing up and like sitting on people's laps and stuff like that.
Been there.
Wear clothes that you'll use for travel only. So you have to have like special clothes for traveling on the buses.
Huh?
Wear clothes that you will
Okay.
use for travel only and change as soon as you arrive to the warm-up area. So you have to bring an extra change of clothes.
For every day, then.
Yeah, my judo gi is what I will wear to the warm-up area.
Well, you're gonna have to bring 2 judo gis then.
Yeah, but for the day that you're just there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no spectators, remember, so you might not even be able to go.
Oh yeah.
Fair
You might
enough,
not, if
yeah.
you
See
weren't.
what I mean? This is too much. We don't remember everything.
Manage your luggage individually. Maintain social distance from other delegations.
That's gonna suck for me.
Members of organizations have
Geronimo
and the
just gonna be by
public.
himself the whole time.
Yeah, if you just have if you're like a country where you're the only competitor, that's gonna be real lonely. Because you technically can't warm up with any of the other countries.
Oh, that's another problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the only
no.
American at competition sometimes. Like,
But that's like if you do like the European tour, like when you do like the cups and all that.
I think all Americans should be doing the European tour.
Yeah, but see, John, not all Americans live in Europe.
Well, that's your own fault. You used to live in Europe.
But I'm pretty sure he was an American then.
Yeah.
Yes, technically. Technically.
Minimum sanitary conditions required at the competition venue. So we gotta have hand sanitizer dispensers literally everywhere. These are just. I like that they've mentioned the garbage cans are inlaid with garbage bags like several times now.
I mean, honestly, with all this, I feel like it's also like we're just
The
like
floor should
just
remain
like
dry at all times.
Jesse. So
Yes, sir.
remember how you said you would have to wear your judo gi
Yeah.
and on the bus? Read 4.8.
These spaces will be open or closed depending on the country's specific regulations. If closed, athletes may leave the hotel in judo gi. That'll be hilarious.
I see all
That'll be
right.
freaking funny, man. If I see, come on. I don't even have to tell a joke for it to be funny. Like, it's already funny. I'm not walking out of the hotel in my judo suit or my. Come on.
Geronimo, what were you saying?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. What was it that I said?
I was talking about garbage cans.
Before that, what were we looking at? I don't even know what I said. I'll remember.
All right, but
Oh, okay. I like pretty much. I feel like these are just kind of like also like part of like the IJF kind of like figuring out like how is it possible for us to do it. Obviously,
But is it really
it's not
possible?
Oh, obviously, it's not like a perfect. It's not a perfect plan either.
Yeah.
But I think we're all just kind of gonna be patient with like the federation and with each of the regulations that each country is gonna put in place for this. Because, I mean, pretty much the world's upside down and nobody really knows what's next. Everything's just up in the air. It's a coin toss.
Are you guys wanting to do all of this?
Mm,
Well, we
no.
No, not really. This is I'd probably want to just wait till there's vaccines.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I said this seems just the purpose of this is just hope, you know.
Yeah, and I mean it's good that they're like, at least kind of touching base with the athletes.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. It seems like a lot for not just the athletes, but like the host nation that's going to be running it.
It feels like somebody was pressuring them to say something when they didn't want to say anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
I wonder if this is also for national competitions.
I don't
might
think
not.
so.
I don't think there's going to be any national competitions anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they pushed, like, President's Cup is supposed to be like the senior nationals.
It's supposed to be, but I think it's going to get canceled too.
Yeah, unless like the vaccine comes out, I don't think.
Even then, then everyone needs to have proof of vaccination and all that, and people are going to start faking that. Like,
Well, it's a
you
lot.
know?
I mean, that's a lot easier to. I mean,
Are going to blood test everyone? Competition site?
Man, I don't even know what's gonna have to happen. But dang, this is just gonna be mayhem for a while.
Yo, how long is this? We're on page 9. I'm falling asleep.
Stay tuned for part 2.
I think that's pretty much like most of it that we covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just we're just scrolling down here. Random weigh-in. Same thing.
I mean, it's gonna be basically the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can scroll faster, John.
Oh, can you look at what the awards would look like? It's a little bit up. It's like 414 or something.
No.
I was like, all right.
Control.
Yeah, so it looks like there's going to be social distance awarding.
The athletes will put the medals around there next to themselves.
Yeah.
Oh
I was
my
told.
god.
They will have to grow their own flowers and their their own.
And will they have to wear masks on the podium?
Probably.
No. They say only athletes will step on the podium without a mask. VIPs and hostesses keep social distancing. Only judo bowing. I mean, imagine you just like lean down, try and elbow the guy.
Yeah. Hit him in the face.
They throw you the flowers.
Probably won't even get flowers, to be honest.
Probably not.
No buffet service.
They'll probably sanitize the flowers.
Pretty sure that kills them.
There's still going to be media there, I guess, giving interviews.
Doing an interview with somebody that's 1.5 meters away is hilarious. I'm gonna be yelling the whole time.
They're screaming.
Mm.
Let's see, reception area. Drinks.
I think it's really funny how they mentioned coffee station.
Oh yeah, the coffee station. This one's the most important part. All food and drinks are served. All cups and spoons are disposable, preferably made of paper and wood.
Wood.
Yeah, that's like more common in Europe, isn't it?
Wooden spoons.
Yeah, wooden spoon. Yeah.
My favorite part is sugar must be in individual sachets and not loose. Like they thought about this. Like there's some really like minute details in this document. I think.
I mean, that's good though.
Yeah, no, they definitely they ran this like entire situation through their head.
Yeah, like they gave it thought, you can tell.
But any food, and then they give examples of food that we covered. The coffee station should be positioned respecting at least the social distance from the nearest FOP staff.
This is a huge venue they're talking about here because
Soccer field.
I haven't seen too many places with coffee stations. I remember Tel Aviv had like a full like
Morocco has a coffee
snack area.
station
They
usually.
usually have them, but they're in the areas where the people that have full board go eat.
Yeah. Community areas must be kept clean and dry. I don't know how wet like competitions are, but they're making sure they're dry, making sure they're
Kept clean and dry.
like they've mentioned that things have to be dry like several
Dude,
times.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of juices flowing.
It's a very moist event.
That's the title of the video. Let the juices flow.
Let the juices flow.
With our 3-hour video breaking down all the rules, man. Yeah.
This is
Scroll
gonna
faster, John.
no.
I think, honestly, I think we're good here because we're not staff, so like
I think
Yeah,
I think we're pretty
I'm
good.
just scrolling down. Here's a declaration of honor. One of the things you have to fill out. Contact tracing, so they're going to be contact tracing in those competitions.
Yeah, I don't want to do all this.
This
That's
is
a
for
lot.
managers. If there's an infected person, any person producing a COVID positive test, comply with the measures proposed, go to or remain in the place designated for him, respect. So you're going to have, so if you, evacuation. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, so basically if you show up to a country and you have a positive test, you might have to stick around for 2 weeks before you fly back.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be stuck in another country for 2 weeks in quarantine.
Yeah, I would really.
Not just are you isolated, but you're in another country.
Yeah, that'd be real tough. And with only like a set of clothes for like 4 days.
Yeah, and nobody's gonna be washing them for you.
No, you're gonna stink.
And I mean, theoretically, who's gonna pay for your like
You're gonna have to
the
pay
whole
for it.
the place that you're gonna be quarantining in?
you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Oh man, that's just
Everywhere.
a nightmare.
In case of symptoms, onset, report or suspicion. I just don't think if anyone has symptoms, they're gonna tell anyone.
Yeah.
And then liability release. So of course they're not gonna.
They're not responsible for us getting
Aware
COVID if
of
we
the
get COVID.
existence of my risk to on my physical appearance to the venue. What?
That means you can die. That's what that means.
My
You will-
physical appearance.
Yeah.
Gee.
I don't think that means you're gonna get deformed, John. I think that just means you're gonna die.
That's worse. That's much worse. Yeah, this is
Oh, we finished. Look at that.
yeah. All right, let's all right, so that's the end of our video.
Sounds good.
Any final comments, Jesse Butler?
No.
This was
Liam?
fun.
This is fun. So we'll probably have another video coming out next weekend.
Yep.
We'll see who's gonna come on.
Sounds good.
Apparently,
Hey,
people,
stop recording once you're so I can talk to you guys for a second.
and apparently people have school. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Kyle.
Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram.
Well. All right. All right. I'll see it. Bye.